Are you nostalgic for the kind of cheap war films that filled up video stores in the 80s? Well, South African action Lost Horizon isn't so much a throwback as it is a flashback. Tom Fairfoot plays a soldier for hire working with his team in a war-torn part of Central Africa, trying to oversee the construction of a dam. Fairfoot finds himself personally targeted by a group of rebels working for a vicious crime lord whose base is near the construction, and his team will need to eliminate them. I could tell I was in for a rough time when the film opened by just smashing into the title card, and then a flash forward of the ending action scene that's cut together so fast, I thought I'd accidentally put on the film's trailer. Let's just say I've seen enough bad action films that if you have to tease your climax at the start, that implies that what comes before isn't worth watching, and I've rarely been proven wrong. This is clearly working on an absolutely minuscule budget, but let's be honest, the building of a dam isn't exactly a riveting plot for an action film, especially when you fundamentally cannot show us the dam because you can't afford it. The first half of the film lumbers around with no real sense of directional pace, to the point where I was actually starting to wonder if a story was going to kick in at some point. I feel mean picking on technicals, but while the film is relatively well shot, there's often very little Foley work outside the action scenes, relying on on-set audio or just straight up missing sound effects. And when those clunky action scenes do arrive, they feel like they're missing key shots they didn't film and fill with stock muzzle flashes. This is directed by Patrick Garcia, who has done a few indie action and horror films in South Africa, and he also wrote the film's screenplay, but it's also hilariously bad in places. At times, it feels like Andy McNabb by way of Garth Marenghi. The bad script doesn't have the performances from a cast of largely unknowns who are extremely wooden. While Fairfoot is the most experienced among them and at least looks the part, he delivers almost every line exactly the same way and is particularly risible when he tries to deliver an Arnie-style one-liner. Elsewhere, there's a colonel who keeps saying, "Mr. Foster," like he's doing an Agent Smith impression.
"Yes, Mr. Foster. Mr. Foster. Mr. Foster. Mr. Foster."
The two female main characters improbably run around in tank tops and only exist to be rescued, and these actors deliver the film's worst performances, like one of them saying that her father isn't one for ideal chit-chat. Isn't the phrase idle chit-chat? This culminates in my favourite part of the film, a baffling subplot where a reporter gets shot and then gets abducted by a doctor who turns out to be a serial killer that chains up women in his home, resulting in a hilariously bizarre 10-minute rescue mission detour. Even though it's 90 minutes long, this is a tough sit for all but the toughest bad movie aficionados, and I'd only recommend it if you've assembled your own crack squad to riff on it. And no, I don't have a clue why it's called Lost Horizon either.